This is Christian Swain, the CEO of Pantheon Sports. The Super Bowl may be over, but sports fans, it's time to shift gears because basketball season is just heating up. And you know what makes the action even better? Playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. And you know what makes the action even better? Playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is where the real fans play. Whether it's the three-point contest, the dunk showdown, or the big game itself, Prize Picks lets you get in on the action. This week, I'm locking in my lineup with Jason Tatum for more than 29 points and Anthony Edwards for more than 25. Plus, I've got Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. I like my odds. And the best part, Prize Picks pays fast. I cashed out in just 15 minutes last week. Ready to get started? Sign up today and use code Pantheon to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. You play just $5 and boom, you get $50 free. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Pantheon to cash in before All-Star Weekend. That's code Pantheon, Pantheon, for an instant $50 bonus. So don't just watch the game, play the game with Prize Picks. Pick your players, lock in your lineup, and run your game. Sign up now at the link in the description because basketball season is just getting started.
¿Dónde están los $5 millones que me robaste?
Gloria tendrá que encontrar el dinero. Su vida y la de su hijo dependen de ello.
Hay que acorralar a la viuda.
¡Tengo mucho miedo, mamá!
El peor de los caminos será el único posible.
A mí no me importa ir a la cárcel con tal de salvar a mi hijo.
En la nueva superserie de Telemundo.
Esta mujer es clave. Que empiece la cacería.
La Jefa. Martes 18 de febrero a las 10:09 Centro por Telemundo.
This episode is brought to you by Abercrombie. There's nothing better than the perfect jean and going out top combo, or an outfit that perfectly matches your plans. Abercrombie's relaxed jean goes with every occasion. Date nights with something lace, or daytime with a cozy sweater. And their barrel jean will surprise you. It's the trend that will become a staple in your wardrobe. Abercrombie denim comes in tons of rises, fits, and washes. Find your perfect pair online or in store.
It's February, and that can only mean one thing. Theaters filled with couples watching movies they're totally not paying attention to, all the while seeing if they'll touch hands while going for the popcorn. However, this is probably not the movie any couple is looking for. But maybe it's the movie they need, because Date Movie is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades and B movies, and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. And hello to all of our listeners in Madrid, Spain, and around the world. Thank you for tuning in. But I wonder if you're going to be thanking us for the movie that we're about to talk about, because it's time to tackle yet another movie. It's Date Movie this time. And here to join me for this episode, my forever date, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. All I can think is, you touch my popcorn, I'll smack your hands so hard that Google won't even be able to find you.
Wow. Whoa. Oh, snap.
I mean, you don't mess with my popcorn.
Get real on Cliffbase, y'all. Whew.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out. This has been It's Not That Bad. Been a lovely run. See, this is what happens when you've been married for a while, right? Because at first you're like, oh, hey, we grazed hands in the popcorn bowl because we shared a popcorn. Now it's like, get your own goddamn popcorn. It's my fault.
Don't touch my popcorn. You don't mess with my popcorn.
Oh man.
Woo! I was holding that rage in. now we can continue, right?
Welcome to It's Not That Therapy Session. Whew. And happy February to all of you, the month of love, clearly. Oh, dear God. All right. So, to our dear listeners, you know that recently we covered Epic Movie. And because we like to double down on these things, it was time to cover Date Movie. Are you seeing a theme here? And I know we kind of broke things up a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. It's still February. It's still good. We're going to have a good time here. But, Carrie, after Epic Movie, how were you going into this one?
You know what? I absolutely love that we're seeing a lot of the same faces and with some new faces.
Oh, exactly.
Added to the mix.
And keep in mind, too, that Date Movie came out before Epic Movie. So we're actually doing this in reverse order.
In reverse, okay.
So, yeah, it's very interesting to see the progression here. And I'm kind of glad that we did Epic Movie first. And I'm going to be getting into that a little bit later because obviously as these things go, it's one of those things where you sit there and go, oh, and then they went here. And and you kind of get to see who went along for the ride. But in this case, I'm kind of glad we did the first one second.
Oh?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, I can't spoil everything.
Okay.
We literally,
I thought you were going to school me, but no.
Okay. I'll school you later there, popcorn girl.
Oh my God.
I will give you a kernel of truth into my thought process.
I see what you did there.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's going to be bad jokes all day.
All right.
Which kind of fitting considering we're talking about Date Movie here.
Shall you butter me up? Don't get salty.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
Well, before we I can't even. We can't dress each other up and go nowhere, which is why we're stuck in a basement.
This is why we watch movies at home.
Exactly.
Because we fight over the popcorn.
Yeah, they don't let us back at the theater. Our pictures are like plastered on the wall saying never in a million years are they allowed to go near the popcorn fridge.
No, they just know that, even though we buy a large popcorn, they give us 2 bags because they know we can't get along.
Because they know, right? That's again. I think there is the sign of a long married couple.
Aww.
You get the new married couple. They have the one bag. You get the long married couple. It's like 2 bags of popcorn, complete with sword and shield to defend your popcorn.
And of course, mine would have the real butter.
Yeah.
Because I
differ.
can't do the...
And I would have like double the amount of white cheddar powder on mine. We're diatribing here. This is not, it's not that popcorn. It's not that bad. So we're going to be talking about Date Movie because it is the month of love. But before we get into this film, it is time to take Date Movie and trailerize it.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if the machine that punched out every Hallmark movie script got super drunk on absinthe, hopped up on meth, drank a keg of Red Bull, and ate 20 kilos of Taco Bell? Well, wonder no further. Because from the script sphincter of rom-coms comes Date Movie. Julia is a girl looking for love until she meets the boy of her dreams and promptly gives him massive head trauma. Then, for the rest of the film, the audience will feel that same pain, as this film violates every Date Movie of the previous 20 years. It's a film that will make you hate hummus, hamburgers, weddings, and yet still learn to love all over again. Even if that love is the kind that makes you happy that getting crunk isn't the thing anymore. Allison Hannigan stars in Date Movie, rated PG-13. For please God, make it stop.
I have issue with that.
What, with the absinthe, the meth, the Red Bull, or the Taco Bell?
More like the sphincter.
Okay, the script sphincter, come on.
Oh, come on.
But let's get into this movie. Movie stars Allison Hannigan, Adam Campbell, Fred Willard, Jennifer Coolidge, Sophie Monk, Eddie Griffin, Mira Simon, Judah Friedlander, and Tony Cox, and was written and directed by Aaron Seltzer and Jason Friedberg. This is the team that, yes, brought us Epic Movie. They did this on the budget of $20 million. Domestically, it made $48 million. Worldwide, $85 million. When it was released on the February 17th long weekend, came in second with $21.8 million. Coming in first was Eight Below with $24.9 million. The only other major new release that week was Freedom Land, which debuted at number 7 with $6.7 million. And I'm just taking a look at this list of movies that were out around Valentine's Day. The Pink Panther, Curious George, Final Destination 3. This was not a happy Valentine's Day.
And they missed it by a few days.
By a few days,
by almost a week.
But that's the thing, when you think about this, right? That meant that debuting on the Valentine's Day weekend was a film like Final Destination 3. At the 2006 Golden Schmoes Awards, it won for Worst Movie of the Year. At the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, it won for Worst Screenplay, won for Most Painfully Unfunny Comedy, and Jennifer Coolidge was nominated for Most Annoying Fake Accent Female, lost to Cindy Chung for Lady in the Water. Then, at the 2007 Razzies, Carmen Electra, who was only in this for like a hot second, won for Worst Supporting Actress, but she was also in Scary Movie 4, so it's probably more for that, but the two came out in the same year. On the Rotten Tomatoes list of the worst films of the 2000s, this movie is ranked number 77. I want to put this in perspective, though. On that same list, Epic Movie finished number 21, and Disaster Movie finished number 22. So, movies definitely made the list. But the reason why we are here, and not because it's February and Carrie wants to hoard all of the popcorn.
Oh, I know I'm not going to let that go.
Nope.
You're not going to let that go.
For the whole episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Your popcorn shame is laid bare for the world to hear.
I make one joke.
Not a joke.
Yes.
You said it while you were holding a fork up in the middle of the air and pointed at me. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't ketchup dripping off the tongs.
That is so untrue.
Oh, but what was it then? What was that pointy object with the... If I'm never heard from again after this episode, dear listeners,
oh my goodness,
you may never find my body, and if you do, it's going to be buried in popcorn kernels. But the reason why we are here are the critics. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a tomatometer of 7% only, with a popcorn meter, you're going to take their popcorn too, of 35%. But let's give you a bit of a bigger picture here. Over at Metacritic, the film has a Metascore of 11. At IMDb, it sits at 2.8 stars, giving this a 28% score. Same thing with Letterboxd, which was 1.4 stars out of 5. And at the Movie Database, the most gracious of grading websites, 42%, giving this an aggravated aggregate of 25.26%. So, Carrie, I'm going to toss this to you here. You got the lowest score of 7% from the tomatometer and the highest score of 42% from the Movie Database. Does this film sit in that range?
No. It was fun. Like, I mean, what do you expect? It's a movie. It's meant to be light and fun and funny. And you can't possibly take that too seriously. And why pan it? I don't understand the hate.
Here's the thing. When we did the episode on Epic Movie, I'm not going to lie, I felt let down by the movie. And it's not the movie's fault, because the trailer spoiled the best parts of the film. So I'm going to get this off my chest right now. This film was not ruined by the trailer. There were numerous moments in this film where I'm like, this is new to me and I like it. The trailer felt like they took like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the film and used that as the only source material for the trailer as far as the jokes went, which is the way you promote a film like this. This film hit me in the funny bone numerous times because I hadn't seen the best jokes spoiled. So yay. Date movie got it right. I feel better now. I feel better.
You okay?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
Want some popcorn?
Oi.
Too soon?
This is Christian Swain, the CEO of Pantheon Sports. The Super Bowl may be over, but sports fans, it's time to shift gears because basketball season is just heating up. And you know what makes the action even better? Playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2-player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. And you know what makes the action even better? Playing along with Prize Picks, the best place for real money daily fantasy sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy. Just pick more or less on at least 2-player projections for a shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is where the real fans play. Whether it's the three-point contest, the dunk showdown, or the big game itself, Prize Picks lets you get in on the action. This week, I'm locking in my lineup with Jason Tatum for more than 29 points and Anthony Edwards for more than 25. Plus, I've got Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. I like my odds. And the best part, Prize Picks pays fast. I cashed out in just 15 minutes last week. Ready to get started? Sign up today and use code Pantheon to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. You play just $5 and boom, you get $50 free. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Pantheon to cash in before All-Star Weekend. That's code Pantheon, Pantheon, for an instant $50 bonus. So don't just watch the game, play the game with Prize Picks. Pick your players, lock in your lineup, and run your game. Sign up now at the link in the description because basketball season is just getting started.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Let's get to the breakdown of this. Allison Hannigan as Julia. Your thoughts?
I love her. I always think she's so funny. Like, she just has that sincerity. Like, when she delivers a funny line or a funny scene, she is literally funny.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just call this out for what it is. Allison Hannigan's on-screen persona, seemingly for whatever she does, is this really sweet, cute, innocent kind of girl. So the reason why this one time at band camp joke works is because it comes from Allison Hannigan, the girl who looks like the sweet, cute one. You give her the bad lines, or in this case, you let her go beat up a bum somewhere. It's because she doesn't look like the kind of person who's going to go bum hunting. This is
I can't believe you just said that.
The I have to say on this podcast, the sentences that are formed in my brain and are given the chance to escape my mouth Dear God, can you imagine if some AI computer was learning its language from this show?
Oh, no.
I pity the demented freaking Cyberdyne Skynet kind of computer that's going to be made from our AI programming. The world's not ready for us. But it's true. Allison Hannigan this is the reason why a film like Flora and Ulysses worked. Because Allison Hannigan really does come across like a sweet person. She does. And you needed that in the role of Julia. Don't get me wrong. Jayma Mays, who was in Epic Movie, could have pulled this off as well. I think Anna Faris could have pulled this off as well. Allison Hannigan fit this role to a T. And I don't know if there's really anyone better than her to take on this role that needed that sweetness, because the crazy is happening around her. Even though she gets her dirty one-liners in there, the craziness happens around her. So you need someone with that persona to pull this off. And I think, like, really, could you picture anyone else in this role?
No, I mean, aside from Jenna Mays or Isla Fisher, have you ever seen the three in the same movie?
No.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Not that I know.
Ah.
Now, hold on. I think, and I would have to look this up, but I think Jayma Mays was actually in an episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh?
So
really?
I would have to double check that one.
Okay.
But regardless of, no, I don't remember seeing all three in the same room at the same time.
I could see them playing like sisters or cousins or like.
Yeah, in like the worst like sisters movie ever, where they're just like trying to like off each other because there's some kind of inheritance. Yeah.
That's awful.
I know, but you want to see that film now, don't you? It literally be like Battle Royale, but with sisters. Make it happen. And right now, someone's sitting there going, holy shit, that's a good idea. We need to write this down.
That'd be a great idea.
It would be a fantastic idea. Why am I not writing this down? Ugh. See, I got to stop doing these shows is just start writing down the script ideas. Because clearly, or worst comes to worst, I'll get the AI robot that we're training with our podcast to write the movie for us. And we'll see what kind of Skynet thing it comes up with.
Now, I do have to ask, though, this movie in her career, did it come before or after
How I Met Your Mother? So this is 1 year into How I Met Your Mother. So it's post Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it's 1 year into How I Met Your Mother.
And post American Pie.
Post a couple of the American Pies. I think American Wedding was after this, but the first two American Pies were before this.
But the introduction to Bandcamp Girl.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly.
Previous. Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we know what happened with the trumpet. It's all good. Or was it the flute? It was the flute,
I think.
the flute. It was the flute. Whoo. Okay. Poor AI robot. Adam Campbell, who stars as, and I can't believe I get to say this name, Grant, fuck your daughter. Apparently in other versions it was fuck your daughter, but in the extended version it's fuck your daughter, spelt FOOKYERDODER, so I don't have to bleep myself. It's not that word. Your thoughts on Adam Campbell?
You know what? I enjoyed them as a couple. Like, I was rooting for them. And oh my God, I don't even know if I can say it, but where he had kind of that long beard and the long hair because he waited for 6 months for her.
Oh, so the time when he looked like Matt Smith coming out of like the Cube for like however many years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. With Epic Movie, I felt kind of like his character, even though his was the main of the four, the four orphans, they didn't really give any of them much to do on their own. Here, Grant and Julia are the two main focal points of the movie. So I felt the film actually had a much more condensed story, easier to follow. And I think it helps too that with epic movies, you can pretty much have any kind of genre thrown into the idea of an epic movie. But with date movies, they kind of all run by that same formula, right? The meet cute, boy meets girl, boy wants girl, all that. It's the same damn thing, right? Which means that you can have a cohesiveness through the whole film. You can have a central focus, that being Grant and Julia, and kind of put them through the different parodies of different films, and it still carries the plot. This movie, of the two, is vastly superior than Epic Movie.
Oh, come on, though. You were so waiting. The wedding planner scene. You were waiting for the badunkadunk, were you not?
No, I wasn't. No, because again, this came before Epic Movie. So Badunkadunk hadn't happened at that point. Again, the sentences I have to say. You can hear that AI computer now. Does not compute. But Adam Campbell was given so much more to work with here. And he was given the space to be funny and completely out there, and played really well off of Allison Hannigan. I completely agree. The two of them on screen work. But even Adam Campbell's his look and his mannerisms, the fact that he was able to parody both Brad Pitt and like all your Hugh Grant isms in this, Adam Campbell was given a buffet meal for this script, and he got to enjoy the meal.
And oh my God, the dating show.
Yes.
Like, it started out fantastic and it just only got better. The movies that they spoofed along the way, but like so good. Even
the scene of like the therapy scene from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where he's like miming, holding the pillow over Allison Hannigan. It's like, this is hilarious. It's so funny, right? Like, and again, not a scene spoiled in the trailer.
Clearly, she must steal the popcorn too.
I see you hoarding that popcorn bag, and sometimes it's just like.
You were laughing a little too hard at that scene. It was
laughing or taking notes. Well, maybe next time share the damn popcorn.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day and all.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to our therapy session. Eddie Griffin, who plays Eddie Griffin, who plays Frank, Julia's father. Why does this work so well?
Oh, you know what? I think the fact that it was just so out there and he was so incredibly controlling and
wrong. Just say he was wrong.
And ridiculously like pressuring her to marry, was it Nick?
Yeah, Nikki. Nikki played by Judah Friedlander, yes.
Oh.
But I mean, here's the thing. And I have to give Eddie Griffin like a world of kudos here, and just bear with me here, because not only was he also in one of the worst movies I had to review recently, that being Norbit. Whew, that film. Still can't rinse my eyeballs with bleach enough to get that film out of my head.
Get the spray.
I'm gonna spray some hummus on that. Fixes everything. But Eddie Griffin was actually, I think, if I remember correctly, he was my MVP from Norbit because he was still damn funny in that film. Here, yes, he's funny, but yet he also gives Frank quite a bit of heart in this film. Like, he's not just jokes and one-liners and parody gags. There's still a dad to Julia. And I'm watching this, I'm like, you're not supposed to be a good character, and yet you're a good character. Did you all go to the Sean Levy School of Directing? Because I actually really liked what Eddie Griffin brought nuance to a parody film, to a movie. Who does it? Eddie Griffin does that.
But I think, though, at the end of the day, the movie needed that heart. It needed that turnabout of, at first he was like, you're not going to marry him. You're going to marry Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like that could be crushing, right? I mean,
It could be worse.
obviously a controlling father.
He could want her to marry Little Nicky.
The butterflies.
I thought about the butterflies. Still haven't forgiven you for that one. But no, like Eddie Griffin brought a full character to Frank. And this is where I'm going to applaud the writing and directing team of Aaron Seltzer and Jason Friedberg. These guys gave them the script and the space to make this more than just a silly parody film. And you put actors in there that were able to do that. And the more I see of Eddie Griffin's acting, the more I really like it. Even in movies that aren't supposed to be good, I'm liking Eddie Griffin. And that's a kudos right there. Mira Simhan, who played Linda, Julia's mother, not as big a role as Frank, but your thoughts on her?
I liked her. I wanted to see a little bit more assertiveness. I wanted to see like that she really was running the family. Like I kind of almost like in Miss Marvel, right? Where
the mom definitely runs
is
the roost.
Running the roost. Yeah.
I don't know if I wanted to see that, but I did want to see more of Linda in this. And I think it's because she has these lines in this that are just so wrong. Like when she's asking for the sperm sample from Grant, right?
Oh, God.
But it's so sweet the way she comes across. And I think, again, knowing, and I've already said how sweet Allison Hannigan's character is in this, Linda is that same kind of level of sweetness. And I think that works, which is why I wanted more wrong lines coming out of her. I wanted more script for her because she did bring this like very subtle humor.
But you have to admit, though, again, with the sperm sample, with when she's talking with Grant's mom,
yep,
and just the scene of like, well, how long has it been? The
cobwebs, yep.
Whoo! I think it was perfectly like there wasn't a lot, but she had quality scenes.
I think the reason why I wanted more of her is because Mira Simhan did do a good job. And I when you have a good actor in the role, you want more for them. But to the same token as well, you don't want to overdo things. You don't want to you don't need a 2.5 hour date movie. I think this film actually was the perfect length, but Mira Simhan did such a good job. You want more.
I totally agree. And that's where I was like, maybe the assertiveness could have been the reason for Dad's turnaround, to.
No, see, I'm going to argue that one too, because I like the fact that Frank came around on his own. I love the fact that, when he finally did object at the wedding, she was like, oh, thank God. Right. So we knew what she was thinking all along. I like that she wasn't the one controlling. I like the fact that Frank got to get there on his own. I think that kind of, it kind of helped solidify Frank a little bit more. Fred Willard and Jennifer Coolidge together again in this one, this time as Grant's parents. Your thought on the two of them?
Absolutely loved. Oh my God. Okay, first of all, you had mentioned in the accolades that Jennifer Coolidge was like the most annoying
fake accent female.
That's harsh. Because she did an amazing Barbra Streisand.
I was about to say, this is one of the funniest Barbra Streisand impersonations in a film that I think I've ever seen. Better than anything I've seen on Saturday Night Live, right? Better, it was so good. It was so spot on. So spot on to the point where I'm sitting there going, are we sure that's not Barbra Streisand?
That's the thing. She didn't even look like herself. Like, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, Jennifer Coolidge came to play. She
did amazing.
Oh, yeah. She clearly did her homework. And I'm sure this is probably one of those things that Jennifer Coolidge has probably done Barbra Streisand, impersonations before, because it came almost like supernaturally to her. And this just goes to show how funny Jennifer Coolidge is. I mean, Fred Willard was good too, but I found Fred Willard was funnier in Epic Movie. Jennifer Coolidge cooked in this one. Like, scene stealing Jennifer Coolidge, which, I mean, you can usually say about her anyways. You know, we are talking Stifler's mom here.
True.
But the other thing too, like you said, she didn't come across as Stifler's mom in this. She didn't need to. This was her not just like parodying, becoming Barbra Streisand from Meet the Fockers. Like, spot freaking on. The stinkers were wrong. I mean, she didn't win. Still.
Harsh.
Judah Friedlander as Nikki, which I had to look this up because I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, so he's basically still Frank Rossitano from 30 Rock. But this came out first.
The basis of the character?
Like, literally, I'm watching this. I'm like, this would answer the question is what would happen if Frank Rossitano got fired from TGS?
Or maybe he was discovered from the cafe.
Maybe. It's all in New York, right? It's got to be from, all New York. But no, like, Judah Friedlander is exactly what you expect from Judah Friedlander if you've watched 30 Rock. I think it worked well. I'm glad that, like, it'd be interesting because, again, like, I've watched like every single season and every single episode of 30 Rock. So I'm very familiar with him from that. I would be surprised if I knew of him in this first and then went on to watch 30 Rock if I'd have a different perspective on it. But because I'm doing it in reverse order, I'm instantly picturing Frank Rossitano. Maybe this is him before getting the job at TGS.
I don't know. I mean, it's just such a... I mean... Ugh. He's so good as that character that, I mean, you really have to wonder, like, why did Dad want his daughter to marry this man? Why? What are his positive traits? Like, I'm looking for...
You sound like, I want to know what your intentions are with my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the good.
I mean, if you were looking for someone to be completely the wrong choice for Julia, Judah Friedlander brought the completely wrong choice for Julia.
And I kind of love that.
But I love the fact that, I mean, he's not an idiot. He's just shy and not really there. It's just not there. It's like in Dog Park. Hi, he's Callum. Sophie Monk, who played Andy. This is the best man / ex of Grant, coming in to spoil the party. Your thoughts on her?
Okay, first of all, I loved the Pretty Woman scene.
Yep.
Loved it. Yeah, it was exactly what you needed to put the test to their relationship.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, interestingly enough, this is only her second film. Prior to this, she was an Australian pop singer. So she actually has a discography, but it's one of those things which worked well in the whole singing scene in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's got the voice for that. But I think with Sophie Monk, you wanted someone who brought the exact opposite energy and presence on screen that you got out of Julia, right? You wanted the opposite of Allison Hannigan. Here you have Sophie Monk coming in, blonde, in a bathing suit, rubbing hamburgers all over herself, clearly scantily clad, the opposite of Julia. And in that, I'm glad this wasn't someone like Carmen Electra, because that would have been too obvious, even though Carmen Electra does have a small cameo in this. Sophie Monk brought what you need. Like you said, she brought absolutely what you needed and what you wanted out of Andy, the person you don't want Grant to be with. So in saying that, Sophie Monk did the exact job that you wanted her to do. Tony Cox as Hitch. Your thoughts?
Oh my God. I cannot see him in any role, whether it be this or the aide to the
white bitch in Epic Movie.
In Epic Movie. Yeah. He is just so funny. He is so funny. I loved him as Hitch.
Yeah.
I mean, how perfect was that? He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna fix you up, and they did.
The thing is, in Epic Movie, and again, this is definitely from a scripting perspective here. In Epic Movie, he was given some decent, funny spots to work with, and Tony Cox makes the most out of every scene that he's given. But here, he's given part of the plot. He's given more to work with. Tony Cox got fantastic scenes, and he got the character to develop. Right? Like Hitch carried through. This wasn't just a spot gag. This wasn't just a spot parody. This was a main character. Tony Cox is hilarious every time he gets those scenes. Love it.
I love at the end too. He's like, I'm also an ordained minister.
It makes a very good Yoda as well. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Tony Cox for the win. I've mentioned it before. This film has a superior story than Epic Movie. Of the spots, though, because I mean, it is still a parody movie. It knows what it is. Were there any moments in this movie that didn't hit for you? Like some of the parodies that just didn't fly?
Oh my God, you're going to be shocked. I thank you for asking this question because I really wanted to address, how I love my Kill Bill parodies, anything, but they overdid it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ba-ba-da-ba-da. Ooh,
I think it was one too many.
Yeah, like they overdid the whole seeing red, and like then they went back to the ba-ba-da, and they showed like Allison Hannigan in the Kill Bill outfit. I loved that. And the swords are at the ready. But okay, either fight or do something. But they just
fight
kept
or get off the pot,
flipping back and forth. And it's like, okay, do something. Like you've got the setup, work with it. But they kind of took that dead horse and just kept.
It's funny because there's something in comedy writing called the rule of threes, right? So the first time you kind of set up the joke, the second time you play the joke, and then the third time you stick the landing. But this had a fourth time. And it was at the fourth time, literally, when you were like, okay, come on, enough. So the rule of threes is a damn real thing when it comes to comedy writing. And I think you had the perfect rule of threes here until you added the fourth, right? Because you had Sophie Monk doing the whole scene, read and scene, like Allison Hannigan montage. And then you see Allison Hannigan, see Sophie Monk, and the whole montage of her in the bathing suit with the hamburger. Meanwhile, Allison Hannigan's eye is twitching, which is hilarious. And then like someone randomly comes in, he sees Sophie Monk in the montage there. That ended right there. Rule of threes, comedy writing. I think I'm missing something in this world.
Popcorn?
What was, and I'll admit, I've not seen the film. Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, God. That was so random and so out of place. But, I mean, it was right at the beginning.
It was right at the beginning, And yes, this is one of those scenes that was in the trailer. But the thing, I don't find the character funny at all. Am I missing something?
Oh,
gosh.
Yeah, no. I mean, aside from being obviously annoying,
yeah,
I really don't get it personally.
No, maybe I need to watch the film, but I don't understand.
Okay, but one of the parodies I absolutely loved was the turnaround, the scene from When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, yes.
Where Grant was the one that was like
having the orgasm. Yes.
Yeah. making it real awkward.
But in such a funny way. Like, again, if you're going to make fun of a rom-com, When Harry Met Sally needs to be in the list. I think they hit very familiar moments from rom-coms. Even the one from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, while it's not like a big moment from it, it fit well. There's one other point in this movie where I'm just like, you kind of dated yourself. And that's, again, at the restaurant. And Lil Jon coming in, what? Get crunk. Like, we're in the year of our podcast, 2025. You know, and this film came out. I hate to do the math for you here, people, but almost 20 years ago.
Oh,
watching this movie today, I had to remind myself that getting crunk was a thing.
Yeah, but you know what? It was indeed Little John as Little John.
Yeah.
But you're right. I was like, aside from the fact that it's a cameo, does he really need to be there?
Yeah.
I think his character would have been better suited where they were like pimping the bride, if you will, or turning Allison Hannigan into, you know, the most beautiful version that Julia was.
Yeah. Even the whole Pimp My Ride gag still holds today, right? Because, I mean, that was more than just a small passing fad, right? Pimp My Ride was a long-lasting thing. Allison Hannigan in weird, like, insane clown posse-esque makeup doing weird crunk dancing in front of Hitch. Again, I had to remind myself, this was a thing for a hot second. That's where these movies kind of fall into a trap. They need to be topical and of the moment, but what if the moment is only like a hot second?
Okay, but 20 years later, it brings you back to that moment.
Did we really want to go back to crunk?
Well, I mean, here we are talking about it now.
I know.
So it's kind of like, oh yeah, remember when that was a thing?
Yes.
And here we are.
But now we have to explain to the children of the future and the AI robots of today that crunk was a thing. And I'm not even going to try to do the dancing because I would throw out a hip at this point. We are almost 20 years after this movie. I would throw out a hip trying to get crunk. I am sorry to the world that has to hear these things come out of my mouth because they instantly sound not cool. If getting crunk sounds not cool, it's because I said it. Sorry to all the crunkers out there. Not even a thing. I'm gonna grab my walker and roll off into the distance here. But the thing is this: when it comes to a movie, you want not just parody moments and not just good sight gags and not just some crass humor, including a toilet-using cat, Jinxers, who I have to point out was voiced by the one and only, the legendary voice of Megatron himself, Frank Welker.
Oh my God.
Frank Welker
oh no.
was the
Jinxers.
Explosive diarrhea, light a match, flush the toilet cat Jinxers. Frank Welker is my hero. Frank Welker is crunk. Yeah. Oh, dear God. Please grab a big old handful of popcorn and shove it in my mouth so I stop saying these sentences and hurting my brain. But so far, of the films that we have watched, and there's going to be some more from the Seltzer-Friedberg duo, date movie or epic movie so far, which one wins out for you?
I love date movie.
I agree. I think date movie is the far superior film. And it's going to be interesting as we kind of go through that filmography little by little. Because I know somewhere down the road, Meet the Spartans will show up as well. So we'll have to go down that road. But I thought this film was way better than 7%. This was what made Scary Movie funny. This is what makes these parody movies. This is the goods. You had a good cast, good parody moments that wasn't ruined by a trailer. This movie is crunk. I'll never say that again. I promise. I promise I will never say the word crunk again. Mark it down. Took me 3 years to ruin a word. Here we are today. But now we get to the end of the show. Carrie, who is your MVP of date movie?
Oh, there's so many. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Barbra Streisand. I'm going to go with Jennifer Coolidge. She did amazing as the mom.
You're not wrong. She is fantastic, but she's not my MVP.
Oh?
No. I am giving it to someone who kind of got the shaft on the last movie, Mr. Adam Campbell. I think he was given really great moments to work with. I think he brought the appropriate level of crazy that needed to happen and balanced well with Allison Hannigan, who was also my runner-up, because these two made this film, and the team of Seltzer and Friedberg made a fantastic movie. Well done.
Can I just give an honorable mention? The one character that had a very, very small part, but the construction worker that shot himself with the nail gun. I could not stop laughing. I swear to God, the opening of the movie, I had tears running down my face because of that scene. And you know what? Let's be honest. The use of the milkshake song and the dance and the entire opening that was in the trailer, and I know your take on that.
No, but in this case, it worked because the best trailers only use like the very, very beginning moments of a film to spoil, right? Because then you have like another hour plus of discovery afterwards, which is great, right? Get all the stuff out of the way. Don't spoil the everything. The date movie trailer did it right. Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our dear listeners, well, you guys know the drill. If there is a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned or is so bad that there is no way in any rom-com that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media at NotThatBadCast or go to our website at NotThatBadCast.com. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe and follow along because March is coming, which means Razzies Month is upon us again. Save us all. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network.
Get crunk!